Institute of Catalyst presents Catalyst Inspiring Voices, Episode 1. This episode is moderated by Mr. Tayyab Kamal Isawi, Catalyst Managing Director. Our special guest for this session is Mohammed Younes Chrahbile. From simple beginnings to inspiring excellence.
Welcome Mohammed to the program. Before we start, let me first introduce the program. So it is a Catalyst inspiring program where we share our knowledge and experience in this program. So we invite experienced people to share their experience with English language. So Mohammed, for people who don't know you yet, who is Mohammed Younes Chrahbile in a few words?
I am Mohammed Talks, a content creator, an author, a public speaker, and so much more. I love to wear many hats, and I have so many different hobbies that I can't really sum it up. But what I've been doing recently is content creation. I'm an author of 2 books who are right behind me.
Nice.
And I've been a public speaker for 5 to 6 years. I've also been a presenter on TV, and I've been interviewed all around Algeria and on radio stations as well. So,
by the way, how old are you, Mohammed? You're 16?
I am 17. I turned 17 last Friday.
Okay. So, Mohammed, you're 17 years old and already inspiring many young people. How did your journey start?
So, at the beginning, it was all very coincidental. My mom had been following YouTubers on social media, and she saw that there were so many opportunities for them. And on the other hand, she saw that she had a child who loved to run around and talk and who was very energetic. And so she decided to, transmit that energy that I had into something that was worthwhile. And I also knew English at the time. So I spoke English very well, you could say fluently. And I think I was around 8 to 9 years old. And at the time she decided, you know what, why don't you post videos on YouTube? And I've actually made an Instagram reel about this. So you can go check it out on Instagram. And so from that video, I started teaching parts of speech in English, and then I went to quotes, and then I went to idioms, and then I went to motivation, and then we started going towards being an informational content creator. And we've been on interviews on various occasions, been on radio channels, TV stations, and I've spoken on stages. So yeah, that's basically
Mohammed, are you trying to tell us that your mother was the person who motivated you to become like a native speaker at this age? Because that would be the next question, which is, what motivated you to improve your English at such a young age, Mohammed?
For me, nothing was really a motivation. It's just I love the language. You see, if I could turn the camera, you'd find that 99% of the books on my bookshelf right here are all in English. And so it's because I like the language so much that I decided to embark on the journey of consuming it. Because to learn anything, you have to be exposed to it. Exactly. And I was very heavily exposed to the English language, whether it be books, cartoons, movies, everything, documentaries. And so that led to it developing automatically, because I was just having fun. I saw it as a means of entertainment, and then it became a way for me to express my own ideas and my own emotions and my own thoughts.
Nice. Thank you indeed. So, Mohammed, would you please tell me about challenges that you faced in your journey towards mastering the language? Have you faced any challenges and then you've overcome them?
For me, I think the hardest challenge in English is understanding the basics, as is with every other language. The way we learn Arabic is by hearing our parents speak and repeating it after them. That's how my mom taught us Arabic and French and English. The hardest thing has always been mastering the basics. Because if you can master the basics and understand the most common words, the most common sentences, the most common ways people learn and interact with each other in said language, the next thing to do is to try and learn how you can improve upon those basics.
Exactly.
Because with the basics, you can develop everything else. So getting the basics and understanding the alphabet and the words and the vegetables and the fruits, that was basically the hardest thing. It was understanding the vocabulary and the grammar of the language, but not in an academic sense. You just had to understand it by listening to people and then by repeating.
Nice. Confidence, Mohammed. You're trying to work on confidence as an important skill that the student should work on in order to master the language. So speaking English language as a confident person or student, and using this language without confidence, that would be like a very, very huge difference. So would you please tell me about what tips and advice would you give those students who want to speak English language confidently?
If you want to speak English confidently, you have to speak it the way you know. You have to speak and to make the mistakes that define you. And don't be afraid of making mistakes, because we make mistakes when we're kids and that's fine, but when we make mistakes when we're adults, we're judged. The most important thing about a language is that making a mistake is the first step towards learning it. At first, no one knows anything, but then after trial and error, and the more you actually try something and you learn from your own mistakes, the better. So if you want to speak confidently, you have to speak when you're not confident.
Nice. Good. Very good. So thank you indeed for the answer. Let me now move, Mohammed, to another important question. So what message do you want to send to other young people in Algeria or around the world?
I'd say do what you want to do. Don't be limited within your beliefs, and always realize that the only limit that you have is what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice. I'd also recommend that each and every person have an idol in said field that they're trying to be successful in, because it helps looking up to someone and learning from them and trying to extract their essence of success and use it as your own is also a really good shortcut. But another thing I would say is just actually enjoy what you do. Yeah, most people think that nowadays within the hustle culture that you need to do what you hate to get what you want, and that you need to work hard, you need to stay up and stay up late. I would say unless you have to do those things, the most important thing is the experience. So if you're going to live your life trying not to live it, that would be a very bad way for it to end. So I would say do whatever you want to do and do whatever speaks to you. For me, if I didn't like public speaking, if I didn't want to be on these interviews, even if they paid me, I wouldn't be on them. So I just genuinely find myself very comfortable talking to a camera because it makes me seem less insane, because I usually talk to myself.
Nice.
So
Nice. Thank you indeed. So Mohammed, would you please tell me, is there any book, personality, let's say, video or maybe movie that had like a profound impact on shaping your current personality?
I would say, if I would say any specific books, obviously you have the Quran. The Quran is probably the most important book because it shapes who I am as a Muslim.
Indeed.
But other than that, like thought-wise, I think Sherlock Holmes probably the most influential because of the way it was written, the way his thoughts are articulated, deduction, induction, and detectives are always, very fun to copy, especially when you're young. Personalities, on the other hand, I think that every person who is ever successful in their field that I've seen, whether it be on a podcast or an interview, has always had a piece of advice that you don't just apply to that specific field, but to life. So if anyone gives you a piece of advice for something specific, just know that it relates to everything in life.
Important.
The same way we like to express our emotions, other people like to express theirs. The same way we like to talk, we have to listen, and we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And so my idea of inspiration, or the things that shaped who I am, are mostly myself and the things that I consume. Because I think a lot. Like I think more than I'd like to, but that's what shapes who I am as a person. If you don't think, then you don't have control of over who you are.
Mohammed, coming back to motivation, if someone feels lost or unmotivated, what is the first step they should take? Please.
As they should do whatever it is they want to do without the motivation. Because you build a false belief that you need motivation to do this, right? For instance, if I'm not motivated, I'm not going to work out. But then sometimes you wake up and you're not motivated. It's not always there. It's never a guarantee. But when you decide to work out, even though you're not motivated, that shows you that it's not a necessity to reach your goals. You don't have to have motivation, right? The main fuel is your progress. And if you know that you're doing these things and that you're developing through these things, it's important. Also, development can be so excruciatingly slow that you don't realize that you're developing. There's this method where people break rocks, right? So there's a giant boulder and they're breaking it with other rocks. So they tap the rocks inside the boulder, and every single time they tap, nothing happens. But in the last tap, it cracks the entire boulder in half.
Nice.
So all of your efforts and all of your progress, they are being put somewhere. And if it's not showing, that means when it shows, it's going to show clear for you and for everyone else.
Thank you indeed. Mohammed, if you would address Catalyst community or any motivated person, ambitious person, so in a powerful message, what would it be?
I would say thank you very much for having me and for listening to me.
We haven't finished yet.
I would also...
one more question left. Yes.
I would also say that, it's always a gift to just be living life and to appreciate it. Some people seek things out of life when in reality the real gift is life itself. And also I would say try to be the best human being, not the best human being. So try to be a human in his best forms, not the best forms of a human. What I'm trying to say is, instead of focusing on the material things in life, on the money and on the people, try to focus on the memories and on the kindness and being a man of discipline and a man of faith and culture, etc. Because those are the people who have built generations and foundations and countries. And then those people were rewarded with money and material things. Because life can't give you life itself. You have to extract it from it. And there's this quote that says, life starts when you realize that it's coming from you, not at you.
Thank you indeed. I've received the last question from one of Catalyst students. So saying, if every young person listening could remember only one sentence from you, of course, today in this program, what would you want that sentence to be and why?
I would probably say, if everyone told you that there was nothing behind a wall and you knew that there was something behind the wall, never give up and always try to get behind the wall.
Nice. Could you please give more details?
So whenever you're sure of something in life, even if everything seems like it's against you, and even if it seems illogical, delusion is always the solution.
Nice.
The most successful people in life, the most ambitious, the most genius people in life have always been the ones to defy life and defy the laws that have been set in place. Because those laws that you see, whether it be in physics or math or athleticism, those records are meant to be broken because they've been broken before. So if you're not gonna bend to the laws of everything, you might as well break a few, because you need to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Nice, thank you indeed. Mohammed, you've inspired me first, then I think your words would inspire everyone who listens to this program. So I would thank you very much first for accepting our invitation and for being our guest. You will be the first guest in this Catalyst Inspiring Voices program. So thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you indeed.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Goodbye, Mohammed.
We enhance the interaction between mind and knowledge.